In 1901, when they prepared Queen Victoria's body for burial, her dressers discovered something that made them gasp. Hidden beneath her widow's weeds, the Empress of India wore a simple gold wedding ring, but it wasn't Prince Albert's. It belonged to the mother of her Scottish servant John Brown. Tucked beside her in the coffin, his photograph and a lock of his hair. The most powerful woman in the world had gone to her grave wearing a servant's mother's ring. That's the thing about royal jewellery. We think we know the stories. Tiaras passed from queens to princesses, crown jewels locked safely away, everything following the proper bloodline. But some of the most extraordinary pieces took journeys nobody expected. A battered tin trunk that arrived at Buckingham Palace in 1942 and kept its secrets for 75 years. A mistress's necklace that ended up on Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. A wedding gift so generous it became the last of its kind, because of what happened when the marriage fell apart. These jewels didn't follow the script, and the stories of how they landed in unexpected hands and why reveal something far more compelling than any official inventory ever could. Today, I'm taking you inside 5 inheritances that shocked families, broke traditions, and in one case required a quiet payment of £10,000 to avoid a scandal that would have rocked the monarchy. Let's start in the darkest days of World War II, when a society hostess nobody expected changed the Queen Mother's jewellery collection forever. Mrs. Greville's black tin trunk. It's 1942. Britain is at war. Buckingham Palace has been bombed. And Queen Elizabeth, the woman we'd later know as the beloved Queen Mother, receives news that will transform her jewellery collection forever. Margaret Greville, the formidable society hostess known simply as Mrs. Ronnie, has died. And in her will, she's left her entire jewellery collection to the Queen with just 4 words. With my loving thoughts. Now, here's what makes this extraordinary. Mrs. Greville wasn't royalty. She was born Margaret Anderson, daughter of a brewery millionaire, a self-made man, not aristocracy. Yet through sheer social brilliance, she'd assembled one of the finest private jewellery collections in Britain. Cartier, Boucheron. Pieces that would make a duchess weep with envy. And she left it all to the Queen. Queen Elizabeth was so stunned by the generosity that she initially hoped to keep it quiet. In October 1942, she confided to Queen Mary, "I must tell you that Mrs. Greville has left me her jewels. She has left them to me with her loving thoughts, dear old thing, and I feel very touched." When a black tin trunk bearing Mrs. Greville's initials arrived at Buckingham Palace in 1943, it contained a hidden treasure, over 60 exquisite pieces of jewellery. The Queen Mother, ever discreet, wore many of them but rarely acknowledged their origin. Though jewel watchers speculated for decades, much of the collection remained shrouded in mystery. Then, in 2018, Princess Eugenie walked down the aisle wearing the previously unseen Greville Emerald Kokoshnik tiara, offering the world a rare glimpse into a secret legacy, finally stepping into the spotlight. Suddenly, a new generation discovered what had arrived in that battered trunk. A spectacular Boucheron creation from 1919, featuring a stunning 93.7 carat cabochon emerald. That wedding moment pulled back the curtain on one of the most generous acts in royal jewellery history. A friendship between a society hostess and a queen, expressed through emeralds and diamonds that would sparkle on royal heads for generations. But here's the extra spice. Mrs. Greville didn't just gift the Queen Mother. She left £20,000, equivalent to roughly £3 million today, to teenaged Princess Margaret. And she left £25,000 to Queen Victoria Eugenie of Spain, her friend who'd been exiled from Spain in 1931 and was living in reduced circumstances. These gifts showed personal loyalties that transcended protocol and national boundaries. Mrs. Greville chose her beneficiaries with her heart, not a family tree. The black tin trunk became a treasure chest that kept giving and kept its secrets for 3/4 of a century. Edward VII's mistresses and the love tokens. Now let's rewind a few decades to when the future King Edward VII was Prince of Wales and absolutely notorious for showering jewellery on his mistresses. One of the most spectacular examples is an Egyptian revival necklace he commissioned in the 1870s for Lillie Langtry, the celebrated actress who was his lover. Edward was deeply enamoured with Lillie, one of the most glamorous society women of her era, and he presented her with a lavish necklace as what Hancocks of London called a token of affection from a royal admirer. Picture this: a dramatic fringe of gold with tassels and Egyptian motifs, winged scarabs, ram's heads, coral drops, moonstones, all centered on a striking enamel and faience scarab pendant. The design was inspired by Lillie's stage role as Cleopatra. Family sources say she wore this opulent necklace on the opening night of Antony and Cleopatra in 1890, embodying the Egyptian queen's allure. This personal gift from a royal prince to an actress, a commoner, was scandalous in formal terms, yet it symbolized genuine affection. But here's the twist that brings this story full circle. Over a century later, that very same necklace surfaced in Hollywood. It was worn by Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada in 2006. A prince's passion piece travelling from Victorian romance through stage and screen, introducing a new generation to a love story written in gold and scarabs. But Edward's indulgence didn't end with Lillie. Another mistress, Alice Keppel, gave and received a jewelled token that made an even more remarkable journey. In 1908, Alice presented the king with a Fabergé cigarette case decorated with a diamond-encrusted Ouroboros snake, symbolising her never-ending love for Edward. Now, Queen Alexandra, Edward's wife, astonishingly tolerated Mrs. Keppel and even liked her. So much so that when Edward VII died in 1910, Alexandra returned this jewelled Fabergé case to Alice Keppel as a personal keepsake. Imagine that moment, a queen, newly widowed, giving her late husband's mistress back the love token she'd given him. But the story doesn't end there. Mrs. Keppel, perhaps recognising the historical significance, chose to give the snake emblem case back to Queen Mary, Edward's daughter-in-law, to ensure it remained under royal care. It's not every day that a mistress's gift to a king ends up displayed in Buckingham Palace. Yet this very object was featured in a 2024 exhibition on the Edwardian age, a passion piece that refused to stay private, making a full royal circle and ending up exactly where protocol said it should have been all along, but only after taking the scenic route through forbidden love. Princess Sophie and the stolen Hesse jewels. Let me tell you about one of the most heartbreaking jewellery stories of World War II and the aunt who tried to make it right. Princess Sophie of Greece, Prince Philip's younger sister, had carefully stored the Hesse family jewels in a zinc-lined box buried beneath the cellar of their castle, Friedrichshof. In 1944, magnificent emeralds, diamonds, historic pieces worth £2 million at the time. In early 1945, American forces occupied the castle. And in February 1946, when Princess Sophie went to retrieve her jewellery for her second marriage, she discovered the hiding place empty. Everything was gone. The investigation revealed that 3 American officers, Captain Kathleen Nash, Colonel Jack Durant, and Major David Watson, had discovered and stolen the jewels. Though they were court-martialed and found guilty, most of the jewels had already been broken up and sold in Switzerland. In the end, Princess Sophie's family recovered only about 10% of the stolen treasures. Imagine that devastation. Your family's heritage, your security, your connection to the past, ransacked and scattered across Europe by the very people who were supposed to be liberating you. But here's where family love enters the story. Queen Louise of Sweden, Princess Sophie's aunt through marriage, was a woman known for her democratic principles and warm heart, Louise was childless, and she'd received two exceptional emerald pieces as wedding gifts from her own mother, Princess Victoria of Hesse, the Hesse emerald brooch and the emerald cross, both dating to 1830 and originally belonging to Princess Elizabeth of Prussia. In a gesture of profound familial love and compensation, Queen Louise gave these precious heirlooms to Princess Sophie for her 1946 wedding to Prince George William of Hanover. It was an unexpected and deeply touching act, Louise parting with jewels from her own mother to help her niece face the future with dignity. After such devastating loss, grief transmuted into green fire. A vault ransacked, but family stepping in to repair what soldiers had stolen. The emeralds had travelled through generations, from Princess Elizabeth of Prussia to Princess Victoria of Hesse, then to Queen Louise of Sweden, and finally to Princess Sophie. Though Princess Sophie later sold them in the 1980s, the gift represented an aunt's compassion during one of the darkest moments in European royal history. Sometimes the most valuable inheritance isn't the jewel itself, it's the love that prompted someone to give it away. Queen Victoria's intimate keepsakes. We opened with Queen Victoria's secret, that simple gold ring from John Brown's mother, hidden on her finger in death. But let me tell you the full story of how the most powerful woman in the world defied every convention to honor the people who truly knew her heart. After Prince Albert's death in 1861, Victoria formed two deeply important attachments that shocked the royal household and court: John Brown, her Scottish Highland servant, and later Abdul Karim, her Indian clerk, known as the Munshi. John Brown became Victoria's closest confidant. Their bond was so deep that he gave Victoria his mother's wedding ring, and the Queen treasured this simple gold band as a tribute to their connection. She wore it privately, kept his photograph close, and when she knew death was approaching, she left explicit instructions. Brown's mother's ring must be placed on her finger for burial, along with a lock of his hair and his photo hidden in her coffin. It's the ultimate secret jewel, invisible in life, revealed only by death. A final act of defiance against everyone who tried to diminish what Brown meant to her. But Victoria's capacity for unconventional affection didn't end there. In the 1880s and 1890s, she formed an even more controversial attachment to Mohammed Abdul Karim. This relationship upset the royal family and staff due to its breach of social and racial conventions of the time. Yet Victoria was steadfast. She showered Abdul with honours and gifts, appointed him her Indian secretary, secured him land in India, gave him houses at Windsor, Balmoral and Osborne, and decorated him with titles and medals. Contemporary accounts note that the Queen personally tended to Abdul when he was ill and commissioned multiple portraits of him. Among the gifts, witnesses recorded a touching scene during an Italian holiday. The Queen presented Abdul with a locket bearing her photograph as a sign of affection. Such a gift, the Queen's image worn close to the heart, was highly symbolic. It was a portable piece of her, bestowed to him much like a royal family member might receive. When Victoria died in 1901, Abdul Karim was by her bedside and among the last to view her body alone. Sadly, her heir, Edward VII, quickly evicted Abdul, confiscating and destroying many of their letters and mementos, yet a few memorabilia of their friendship endured, preserved by Abdul's family. These weren't grand tiaras or parures. They were intimate pieces laden with sentiment, tokens that said, "You matter to me, regardless of what society thinks." And in Victoria's case, she literally took one of those tokens to her grave, ensuring that John Brown's memory would rest with her for eternity. The York Tiara. In 1986, when Sarah Ferguson married Prince Andrew, Duke of York, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip made a decision that would become historic. They commissioned a brand new tiara as a personal wedding gift for their new daughter-in-law. Designed with elegant scrolls and floral motifs, the York Tiara was hers to keep, a rare and generous gesture even then. But when Sarah and Andrew's marriage ended in divorce in 1996, questions swirled. Many assumed the tiara would quietly return to the royal vaults, as so many jewels had before. Instead, in a break with tradition, Sarah retained personal ownership. She continued to wear it discreetly for special white tie occasions. And in a symbolic moment in 2023, her daughter Princess Beatrice wore it to the wedding banquet of Crown Prince Hussein of Jordan and Princess Rajwa. Here's what makes this story particularly significant. The York Tiara remains, to this day, one of the last pieces of royal jewellery personally gifted by a reigning monarch and consort to a new royal bride. Following Sarah and Andrew's divorce, the tradition changed completely. Newer brides have borrowed tiaras from family vaults, returning them after celebrations. The modern norm became borrow, don't gift. One wedding tiara rewrote palace policy. After the experiences with both Princess Diana's jewels and the York Tiara, the royal family adapted to modern realities about marriage. The York Tiara stands as both a beautiful jewel and a marker of changing royal practices, an unexpected legacy for what was meant to be a traditional wedding gift. It's a reminder that even the most carefully planned royal gestures can have unintended consequences, and that institutions learn, sometimes the hard way, to protect their heritage while navigating the complexities of modern life. A brewery heiress who became a queen's secret benefactor. A mistress's necklace on Meryl Streep. American officers court-martialed for a jewelry heist, a queen buried with her servant's ring. The last personally gifted royal wedding tiara. What connects these stories isn't just that the jewels went to unexpected people, it's why. Mrs. Greville chose friendship over blood relatives. Edward VII chose passion over propriety. Queen Louise chose compassion over keeping her mother's jewels. Victoria chose loyalty to those who served her. The Queen chose to gift Sarah a tiara outright, unknowingly ending a tradition. Every choice reveals what mattered most when the moment came to decide. Have you ever received or given an heirloom that carried an unexpected story? A gift that said something words couldn't? Share your story in the comments. If these hidden chapters fascinated you, please like this video and subscribe. There are dozens more stories waiting, pieces that vanished and reappeared decades later, jewels that sparked family feuds, and inheritances that healed old wounds. Thank you for discovering what happens when love, loss, and loyalty collide with tradition. I'll see you in the next one.